Welcome to another pixelforlife.com video tutorial. Again, my name is Shannon Lilly, and today we are doing our Maya modeling series. And where we left off was we just modeled the main tire, and I told you the next thing we're going to do is we're going to model this handlebar system. I'm not sure how much of it we're going to get done in this lesson. We'll try to get quite a bit of it done if we can. But I wanted to go ahead and show you this image in this window photo viewer so that you could really see. Basically, we're going to have some chrome knobs. We're going to have the black rubber hand grips going into actual chrome for the handlebar system. Now, this handlebar system is going to be a little bit tricky to model, but we're going to do our best. And one thing you got to remember is that it doesn't have to be perfect because it is going to be a little bit further away in our render. But we're going to model a good job and a nice section for it. So let's go ahead and just jump into it and get started. So first thing I want to do is I want to grab this tire, and I want to go back to my, by hitting Control A, I can go back to my normal channel box layer editor, and I want to go ahead and hit this button over here, which is create a new layer and assign the selected object to it. Now with that, I can then double click on this layer and call it tire, and I'm going to make sure I have the color as black, just because the tire will eventually be black. And with that, I can now hide that tire layer if need be. From there, I'm going to go ahead and create a new layer, and I'm going to name this handlebar. And I don't know how much of the handlebar will actually put on this, but I'm going to go ahead and just hit save. Oh, and I forgot, you can't have the dashes in it. But I'll go ahead and hit save there. So now we have that layer created, and we can go ahead and get started. So again, we're going to go ahead and use this polygon cylinder, and we're actually going to start in this plane right here. So I'm going to hold down Alt and then use my middle mouse clicker and kind of zoom in over here, and we're going to create it right here, and then we'll move it over when we're done, just for the sake of ease. So let's go ahead and grab this tool, and with that we can then hold down Alt Shift. You don't even have to, but it just, you know, I'm just used to using Photoshop, I guess. And I'm going to go ahead and create this edge point start, and then up here on the top I'm going to go ahead and just create a little bit of a lip. Now with that, I can then go to the input section, and I can put change my subdivision axis, and I want to change it to 12 because I just literally do not need that many sides on this object. So I'm then going to go to faces, selecting all of those faces on the inside, just hit the backspace, and I actually got an extra one in there, so I'll redo that selection like that, hitting that backspace button again, and now I have this nice little cylinder object. Now from this object, I'm simply going to go to edges, and I'm going to select this edge on the outside, and again I'm going to hit my extrude tool and then hit R because I want to scale this down so that I have a nice little edge, and that's going to come in handy later when we actually smooth everything out. Just trust me. Hit it again, hit R, and then I'm going to bring it down one more time like that. Hit extrude, R, and then I'm going to bring this straight down. I'm going to leave this plane open because when I smooth this object out, it's going to be a lot, it's going to look the way it's supposed to, trust me. So with that, this start here is going to be our end cap, which is this chrome right here. So we need to go ahead and go into object mode and hit W, and I need to move this out. Now the handlebars to me look like they stick out about so far past the edge of the tire here where the fender is going to go over it. So maybe a little bit more than that, but not much. And I want to keep that you know, as good as I can. So I'm going to make sure that that is around there. Again, it doesn't have to be perfect. I just kind of want to get it in the general area. Now with that done, I'm simply going to go ahead and create a new polygon cylinder here. And I want to simply create it to be roughly the same size, but it doesn't have to be perfect. So let's go ahead, and I created that there. And this one here, I'm going to create. It's going to be a little bit longer, and it's going to be relatively the same size as this. So we'll move this over, and I'll zoom into this. That way, I can move it and match it up with the other. There it is. So that's nice and matched up. Again, we're going to go into inputs. Your subdivision axis, we'll put it 12. I'll then hit R and scale this down so that it is literally just a tad smaller, which would be like that. If I zoom in here, you'll see it's not touching it right now, but I'm going to move this in so that it is. And it's going to be just to the edge of it there. Now I'm going to go to Faces, selecting all those faces, deleting those because I don't need them. I'm then going to go back to Object Mode, select this side, go to Edges, selecting this edge, make sure I select all the way around it, hit my Extrude tool, hit R, and I then want to scale that down just a tad. Hit Extrude again, hit R, bring it down a little bit more, and then hit Extrude, and hit R and scale it down to where it's bigger than this other loop, but definitely smaller, which will be like that. And then one thing I need to do is I need to eventually connect these sections here on this outside object, because I'm going to have to cap it off basically. And the way that's going to work is I'm simply going to create edge. You would select one edge and then the other, and then you would use your tool to collapse them, which would be to, where is that tool? Bridge. And you can see here that bridges it, and you can select under the bridge edge how many divisions you want, which I would want like maybe 2 at most there. Maybe not even that, maybe just 1. No, I would want 2 there. And then I would bridge this to this, which would unfortunately create a triangle, but I could actually move it around and connect. I could actually connect this edge to this edge to this edge, and this edge to this edge. Which I'll just go ahead and do it real quick just to kind of show you. And you use the bridge tool. Whoa. I need to do that there. Select those 2 edges and hit bridge, and then you would go to the divisions, hit 1, actually 0 on that, my bad, and then select this edge, bridge it, back to that, 0, same thing here. No, I'm just doing it now, might as well not wait around for it, might as well just go ahead and do it. Sometimes I just get in that zone and I'm like, you know what, I'm just going to do it right now, I don't want to wait. So then you select this edge and this edge, bridge that, go to divisions and hit 0, and then you want to bridge that, go to 0, go to that and that, hit bridge number 8, and go to 0, and that allows that to be all closed up just like it should be. And that's exactly what I wanted actually. So object mode, go back to this. Now from here, you can see here, if I zoom out, I'm going to need to create this little lip on the outside of this. So I'm going to go back to edges, double click that edge around, I'm going to extrude that and hit R. And this one I'm actually going to scale up just a tad, about like that. Extrude it once more, hit R. Go up with it to about there. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Then I'm going to hit extrude, hit W, and this one here I'm going to move over. Basically just a tad. Extrude it again, W, move that over, like that. Extrude it, R, scale it down just a hair. Actually, I'm going to scale it down so I can see it over here. Extrude that, R, extrude it, R. I'm going to scale that one down, hit W, and I want to move that in just a little bit, about like that. Extrude it, hit R, scaling that down. That's going to cap it off because then the chrome pipe is going to come out of there, and you're not actually going to be able to see that from the render. So it'll actually work out just perfectly. So I'm going to go back to object mode. Now this here, I want to go to faces. I'm going to zoom in and I want to be able to select these faces here. Hit W, and I'm going to move this out, kind of beveling that a little bit. And faces, I actually want to zoom in on the top view here. I'm going to select all of these faces, and I want to divide this selection because so I'm going to cut the faces and right there. Then I'll go to edge. Actually, just hit W, and then complete tool. Double click this edge here and make it go all the way around. You can bring that out a little bit, which makes the nice bevel shape. F, and that's exactly what I'm looking for. So with that, we can now go ahead and create the chrome bar part, which is coming out of this handle. And I'm actually going to go back to this image here, and you can see here it comes out, but it kind of swoops down at the same time, and then it goes into this other metal part that goes down with the cylinder here. So we need to create this whole section, which I don't know why I just loaded Firefox. It won't be that difficult to do, but basically, let's go ahead and create this cylinder part here that's kind of coming down. Going back to my cylinder, from the top view, I want to create it about that big, and then from there it's created there. And I want to go ahead and go back to this input, division 12, subdivision height. I want to go ahead and put this at 10. And the height, I'm going to put this at 2. Actually, it's going to be higher than that. It's going to be at, let's put it at 4. Probably going to be about 4-ish. And it's actually going to be smaller in radius than that. So let's put this down to about half that size, so 2. And I'm going to put the division height at 8. And that's about right, because I'm actually going to be curving it, so I'm liking that where that's going. Alright, so from there I'm going to go to faces mode. From the top view, select those faces and delete them. So I'm not going to need those faces. I'll then go to object mode, select it, go to vertices, and from the side view I'm going to want to go about there, and I want to hit E, which is rotate. And from the E, I want to simply use the red rotator here. I'm going to zoom into it, and I'm going to rotate those about like that. And then I can hit W and move them over. And then I will hold down Control, which will deselect those when I select over. Hit E, rotate it again. Hitting W, moving it over and down. Hold down Control, deselect those. Hit E, rotate that to where those are flat. Hit W, move it down. Actually, about like that. I'll deselect those, hit E, rotate that a little bit more so I can, basically I'm just take this and go back to view panels, orthographic, and that needs to be my side view there. Now from there, I'm actually going to select these again, and I'm going to rotate those. unrotate those a little bit. About like that. That's pretty good. Object mode. And from there, I'm going to go ahead and go to faces. I need to and I need to put a split right down in here, a couple of them. So let me go ahead and use the cut faces tool. And cut it, kind of cut it there. And also there, which just kind of make that curve not quite as bad. My enter button, back to object mode, W, and that allows my object to kind of stay the way it's supposed to. And with that, I'm actually going to move both of these in some. We're going to move in to be about like into there. And with that, I'm actually going to move these roughly to about here. And move this forward. Kind of down a little bit. Move it so that it's kind of in the vicinity like so. And that kind of that'll kind of be my placement area there. Now I want to go ahead and select this cylinder. Go to faces, and I'm going to select half the faces, deleting that because I am going to mirror this entire layer over. I'm not going to just do the one, so I don't need that extra piece there. So I now have that done. And with that, I can now create another cylinder. And this cylinder here is going to be so big. Go back to the inputs, 12. Subdivision caps, get rid of those. Select those faces and delete it. Go to edges, which is then selected. I'm going to move that into right there. And then I'm going to hit extrude. Moving that like that. Extrude. I'm going to move this all the way to about there. And I can then come down here and go to divisions and put in 8. That's it. And that's not working, so I'm not going to worry about it. I'll just hit extrude again, W, bring it over, extrude, W, bring it over, extrude, W, bring it over, extrude, W, bring it over. And then I'm going to go to I'll go to vertices, and I just kind of want to take those there, go to W and kind of move them out a little bit, take these center ones, move them kind of like that, which just gives my handlebar a little bit of a curve there. I'll then take, actually, from both of those there, I'm going to hit R, scale them down, and then I'll take just the end, scale that down even more. And that, I can then move that in to that section there. Vertices, selecting those, and hit R to scale that. I'm going to kind of make that a little bit fatter. I'm also going to make the end a little bit fatter as well. And then I'm going to go to object mode, select that object, and I'm going to use my cut faces tool again, which is here. And I'm going to kind of cut it there, and there. And I'm going to hit W, and I can move this. All these objects here, I'm going to move those forward about there. And hit E, rotate that. Rotate it like that, and that way it's nice and lined up. And that looks pretty good. Now, when I duplicate this over to the other side, I'll actually create the brake handle part. So the last thing I want to do here is grab these objects here. And I'm still on the handlebar layer, so if I hide that, I want to right click and go add selected objects. Maybe I can hide those like that. And I'll use the mirror geometry. And from the mirror geometry, here, I can do it on -X, pivot, down 0, which then puts it onto the other side, like so. I'm not sure why that's not lining up. It should be. Should be a -X. And do that there. And we can just mirror up one part at a time because I don't know why that's not working, but it's not, so. It must be because I don't have these vertices lined up. One thing I can think of. Yeah, that's what it is. I'm so sorry, guys. I told you this is going to be a real deal, so. R, W, still not working, so I'm just going to undo that whole thing because that's not working at all. Object mode. Macy's. Definitely don't want those. And there we go. And that will conclude this lesson, and we'll mirror it over in the next one. Thanks, guys.